I'm seeing a clock in the way that this pops in, and I'm seeing this, and it's symbolic for basically saying that a schedule or two people's schedules would not be ideal for kind of a cohesive relationship. Where does he live at the moment?
Where?
Yes.
In Cleveland.
I see a lot of travel for this individual, like to an excessive extent that I'm kind of almost like, oh, I don't know if that would even be reasonable for them to like do this much. So just remember that I'm saying that.
Oh, he saw even more that he wasn't telling, I can tell. Tyler Henry last summer on E's Hollywood Medium discussing Khloé's relationship with Tristan Thompson long before the cheating scandal came back.
Well, Tyler joins us now. All right, well, who were you connecting to on Khloé's side that was showing you all of this?
Well, it was interesting in regards to her relationship. I was just kind of using my own intuition and just feeling what I felt naturally. And in the reading, her dad came through, but yeah, I was just going with my gut.
But what was it about Tristan? What were you seeing?
Well, it was interesting when she asked about her relationship and love life. I saw a clock, and I just felt like that kind of symbolized timing, and I saw distance and a map, and so there were some indicators of, you know, some stuff, some potential strain, and all relationships have susceptibilities to issues. So it was just pretty clear in conveying what she had to keep in mind.
And as with all readings, when you go in, you don't necessarily know who you're going to be meeting with,
exactly.
right?
I never know.
And did you know at the time when you did the reading that she was dating Tristan?
I had no clue. And in fact, I was talking about someone else that I was seeing, you know, in her future that would be a potential candidate for a relationship.
Oh, really? So you saw someone else?
I did.
After Tristan?
I did.
So she's going to move on past Tristan?
I'm sure she will, yeah.
And what did you see? Because she seemed not receptive to what you were saying to her.
You know, I think in the way it came in, you know, it was probably tough to hear because, you know, she was in the relationship presently and I was seeing information about the next relationship. And my job is just to be the messenger and to deliver as much info as I can. And that's what I was saying.
Wait, what were you seeing about the next relationship?
Well, I saw a reference to someone with like foreign ties. I saw kind of a unique, like an accent. There's some interesting little indicators of a potential future partner.
All right, we want to know. But yeah, as Kit was saying, I mean, you know, she didn't seem like she was taken too kindly to it, but you deliver it in such a sweet way. Yeah. Do you have to, you know, cage yourself, like step back a bit sometimes to make sure you're saying it in the nicest way possible?
For sure. I want to be tactful and diplomatic, and anyone that comes on the show, we care about their privacy and their well-being, and we want to make sure that we leave them better than we found them. And so in that case, you know, anytime I have to talk about difficult things, which do sometimes come up in the show, I just try to be as understanding as I can, and I would want to know. So I just try to stick to the truth, and that always
stick to the facts.
Who came to you with the Tristan information?
You know, I can't remember actually in that exact moment because there was so much that came through in that overall reading, but it was more focused on my intuition, I would assume, because I didn't really have her dad coming through in that exact moment.
But you did say you did feel Robert Kardashian. Were there other things that he gave you indicators of?
For sure. His reading kind of came through more in Kris Jenner's reading, which actually happened in season 2, and he kind of communicated more medium details as far as like connections from the other side. Yeah.
So what did you think when you saw the Tristan cheating rumors?
Well, I was really saddened for her. I mean, the timing was horrible, and I can't imagine going through that firsthand. And I just hoped that the information I gave in that initial session kind of helped her moving forward, because I can't imagine how difficult that is. But
were you kind of like, I called that, like I saw it,
well,
and
I'm a sidekick, so I mean, it's, it's kind of the nature of the game.
You can call it every day.
Right.
But what about the baby? Did you call that too?
I didn't
actually.
see that. I didn't see a baby, which I thought was interesting. So even I get surprised.
See, that would have been like, okay, the guy's not going to be great, but you're going to get a gorgeous baby out of it.
And I like that somebody foreign with an accent will be on the lookout.
Maybe.
We'll keep on the lookout.
Who else this season has been big for you?
Well, Megan Fox, Iggy Azalea. We have LaToya Jackson in the finale episode. So
yeah, you have 2 left, right?
That's
and LaToya, you say you communicate with Michael Jackson.
Yes, and that was really emotional. I mean, she came in really with one goal, which was to get an understanding of the chronology that led up to Michael's passing. And so she was curious about the timeline and getting the details. And when he came through, he actually communicated information that was private within the family, and she was able to validate that. So it was amazing.
When Michael Jackson comes through to you, what does that look like, feel like, sound like? Hold that thought. They want to tease this for the next segment. Much more with Tyler coming up. Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you do it? Pretty good, right? Coming up next with Tyler. That's fantastic.
She's having me joke about trying to come through while you're, how do I word this? Oh my God, this is awkward.
Careful the things you say.
Being intimate being intimate.
Oh my God.
You sang it.
I did.
We're back on Access Live with Hollywood medium Tyler Henry, seen there with Titus Burgess. So what happened? What was going on there?
That was awkward. His grandma was a character, and people ask me all the time, our loved ones watching us constantly. They're not, but his grandma was just a bit of a personality. She was funny, and she was ornery.
Apparently doesn't have good timing.
I guess not, but.
So we were talking about your reading with Toya.
Right.
And you say Michael Jackson came through to you. And kids was like, what does that look like, feel like?
Well, it's funny because, when Toya answers the door, you know exactly who she is. And
Right.
obviously I knew who she wanted to hear from. And so as a medium, that put a degree of pressure on me because I had to come up with information that was private and detailed. And so as I sat with her, it was really interesting because when he came through, I would have expected him to like moonwalk or see a fedora, but it didn't come through that way at all. He just came through as a brother, looking to connect with his sister. It came through very innocent, very childlike. It was really fascinating.
What did he say about his death, though? Because there were still so many questions surrounding the way he died.
I didn't realize that there were so many questions around like the exact timeline and what happened. And so Toya actually came into the reading with the hopes of getting an answer. And so when Michael came through, he helped basically fill in the last 48 hours of his life and explained who was around, who wasn't, kind of what happened. And it helped her get the answer and really kind of put it to rest.
Anything about his kids? Did he want to know?
Absolutely. He was very connected to them. He acknowledged his son and daughter and various people, and it was just really important that he had some messages for them that were relayed through Toya. So.
What did he have for Paris?
That was interesting. There was a lot there as far as him being around her and watching over her, but nothing really related to current events.
Anything else about Michael coming to you? Did anything feel differently for you, or did you hear the voice? Or
Well, it was interesting. I didn't hear his voice, and in fact, people are often surprised. I often will go an entire reading without actually seeing what a person looked like. So it's not like The Sixth Sense. I don't see dead people walking around. But the way that he came through was just very gentle. That's the way I would describe it. Everything came through with like, as a feeling. And every personality is unique on the other side as they are in life, and so that comes through in a different way. And he was really just gentle.
And you say you see images sometimes, like with the clock and with the Khloé reading.
Absolutely.
So they show you pictures, or they give you like an idea of an object or something?
For sure. The Sixth Sense uses the other five senses to communicate. So I might have a vision, hear a noise, get a physical feeling, and I kind of have to put it all together and figure out what it means.
Natalie and I came up with season 4. Your lead-off batter that you're going to do is Macaulay Culkin.
Your
Look at the
doppelganger.
close-up. Oh my gosh, you'll do the face.
He won't do that,
But you will.
I will. I'm here all week.
Is that a reading you'd want to do, or at least want to meet him?
I would if they bring Home Alone back. I'm open for my casting, my acting debut.
There you go.
Did you get that when you were younger too?
I did. I looked a lot more like him because I was working the blonde
gosh.
hair, and now I'm kind of turned brunette. I got to make myself distinct from him.
Although he was on Ellen, he's got the same
I know,
haircut
he's
now
copying
too.
me. I'm gonna have to
He's
call him up.
copying you.
I'm like, I don't know
And
what's going on.
he's very thin, just like you. You guys are about the same stature.
Yes.
I think you need to get a reading.
I think I would love that.
Wait, this is you.
Oh my God! Where'd you get that picture?
How cute. We have ways.
I love it.
It's called Archive.
It's got research. I love
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
cute.
Okay, wait. Megan Fox.
Yes.
What came out of that reading?
It was interesting. She actually felt like she was pretty intuitive herself, and she was very spiritual. And so, going into it, she was kind of curious about her family lineage. She had some Native American ancestry, which was interesting. Her grandma came through, and there was some medical information for her mom.
So you have 2 left. You've got Toya. Who's the next one?
The next one, oh my gosh. So we have Toya on the finale episode,
Yes.
and the next one is Haley Arantia and various others. So
Who has been your
Wow.
favorite reading? Because my daughter Hayes was watching yesterday, and she said that Snooki
Right.
was. Is that still your favorite reading?
in the beginning, it definitely was one of the first I did, so it was definitely one of my favorites. But since, I think RuPaul has been one of my top
What came
favorites.
out with Rue?
Well, it was really emotional because his dad passed, and his dad had dealt with a gambling addiction that he never really took accountability for in life. And so RuPaul, when his dad died, just kind of came to terms with the fact that he was probably never going to get an apology. And then his dad came through and was actually able to understand the impact that his actions and inactions had on the family. And to be able to acknowledge that when he never was able to in life was really healing for both RuPaul and his dad's spirit.
Does that spirit on the other side ever tell you if something is coming that is a warning to that person?
Yes, there have been times, like even with Alan Thicke, that reading was very
right.
a good example of that. He had a loved one come through who passed of a specific issue and communicated that he had to keep it in mind.
Have you ever had a bad reading that just like nothing's coming through, and you're like, hey?
I've had readings I was happier with than others, but for the most part, I just think that everything that comes through is meant to come through in the moment, and I just have to trust that. I'm
And
gonna
the
do
wait
best of it.
list to get a reading
yeah.
from you.
Guys, you're
is
not getting
what?
one.
I mean, forget it.
Well,
3 years.
I'm working on it. I do 2 to 3 a day when I'm not filming, and the vast majority of my clientele are the general public, so celebrities are just for the show.
Well, I need to hear from my grandma Pie. You got anybody? Because we need a direct reading from you.
Before you come on next time, you need to get a reading.
Season 4, I'm here.
Season 4.
Maybe.
Oh. Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry airs Wednesdays at 9 on E!